everyone, and welcome back. My name is Lori if you're new here, and in this video I'm going to be going over the 10 books that I'm hoping to read this summer. I haven't done great with these seasonal TBRs, my spring TBR especially. I did okay with the fall and winter ones, but I honestly just completely forgot that I had made a spring TBR until it was too late. And I still have like a week or two left. I can still probably squeeze a couple more in. But I do think this summer TBR will go better than the spring one because I do have some books that I specifically have been setting aside to read in the summer. I didn't really have that for spring, so I do think this one will be better. A lot of these choices are just kind of based on the cover reminding me of summer, the title kind of reminding me of summer. But the few that I actually have set aside to specifically read in summer, they take place in the summer. There's a more solid reason for why I chose them, but for most of them it's more what I'm feeling like I'm gonna be in the mood for this summer based off of what I'm kind of currently wanting to read, and then I chose some books that I think would fit the summer theme, at least to me. But let's just start with the first book, which is Scorched Skies by E.J. Mello, and this is the first book in the Way of Kings duology. And this is a fantasy duology inspired by the Icarus myth. This is set in a place called Kadra, where the winged Volari rule over the earthbound Sura. We follow Tonwyn, who has lived a life of secrecy in order to survive, because she is the child of a forbidden union and her very existence is punishable by death. And then we have the crown prince, Zulya, who has to follow his father's every whim. His father orders him to capture Tonwyn's brother and father and take them to his kingdom in the sky. And in an attempt to save her family, Tanwyn pretends to be a servant and infiltrates the royal court. And while she's there, she learns that there is more to save than just her family. And there's also more to Prince Zulya than meets the eye. Their worlds collide, their star-crossed relationship intensifies under the king's oppression, and they must decide if their love can bridge the divide or if they have flown too close to the sun. In this one, the title and the cover made me think of summer. The colors on the cover feel very summery. The word scorched makes me think of summer, just super hot. And this is also just a newer addition to my TBR that I'm really wanting to get to. And I just have a feeling this will be a good summery read. The second book on my list is The Silversmith by L.J. Claren, and this is the first book in the Selverin series. And in this one, we follow Ari, who is struggling after losing her father and her brother in a mysterious way. Strangers arrive with tales of lost magic, and Ari is thrown into a fate much larger than her sorrow. The realm of Nirida is under threat by an ancient shadow wielder, and this shadow wielder wants to plunge the world into corrupted darkness. And Ari is the only one that can stop him. This one with the flowers along the border and the glowing hot metal made me think of summer. And this is one that I've heard a lot about recently. I'm wanting to get to it sooner rather than later. And I have kind of heard some mixed reviews on this one, but I want to give it a go. I think I might really like it, so I decided to give it a shot this summer, hopefully. Next up is City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty, and this is the first book in the Daevabad trilogy. In this one, we follow Nari, who is a con woman on the streets of 18th century Cairo. She believes that magic is all tricks meant to swindle money out of the nobles, but she accidentally summons a mysterious djinn warrior during one of her cons, and she is forced to accept that this magical world that she thought only existed in fairy tales is actually real. The warrior tells her about Daevabad, the legendary city of brass, and Nari is irrevocably bound to this city. When she enters the city, she learns that old resentments are still simmering, and that magic can't protect her from the dangers of court politics, and that even the cleverest schemes can have deadly consequences. Once again, I just felt like the cover, the colors felt summery to me. This one is on my 26 for 2026 list, and so I'm really hoping to get to it soon for that reason as well. I'm hoping adding it to my summer TBR will encourage me to pick it up soon, and I've heard nothing but great things about this trilogy, so I'm really excited to pick this one up. Next up is An Ember in the Ashes by Saba Tahir, and this is the first book in the Ember in the Ashes series. This is a finished YA romantasy series. There are 4 books in the series, and this is set in a world inspired by ancient Rome. We follow Leia, who is living under the Martial Empire, where defiance means death. Those that don't vow themselves to the Emperor risk losing everything. And Leia lives with her grandparents and her older brother, and they make a living on the Empire's impoverished back streets. They don't challenge the Empire. And then Leia's brother is arrested for treason. So she makes a deal with rebels who promise to rescue her brother if she will spy for them from within the Empire's greatest military academy. And once again, this one, the cover, we have a bright cover, we have the sun on the cover. It feels summery to me. This is another series I've been really wanting wanting to get to, and I'm hoping putting it on this list will push me to read it soon. I have a feeling I'm really gonna love this, but that can sometimes kind of make me nervous and makes me put it off, just in case I'm wrong and I end up really disappointed, which has happened to me before. So I just kind of need a push to read these books that I have really high hopes for. But this has an academy setting, spying and infiltrating, and a rebellion, which are all things that I usually really love in stories. I've heard really great things about this series. And I think there's also a new series that is connected to this one. The first book is called Air, and that's another series I'm really wanting to read, so I need to get through this one. The fifth book on my TBR is This Woven Kingdom by Tahira Mafi, and this is the first book in the This Woven Kingdom series. This is another YA romantasy, but this one is inspired by Persian mythology. And in this one, we follow Eliza, who is the long-lost heir to an ancient Jinn kingdom, but she has been forced to hide out in plain sight as a servant. The crown prince, Cameron, has heard prophecies about the death of his king, but he never would have guessed that the servant with the strange eyes, who he can't seem to forget, would one day uproot his kingdom and the entire world. The cover on this one felt summery to me. It's a bright yellowy orange cover. We have flowers on the cover. This is also on my 26 for 2026, and I'm trying to get through as many books on that as possible. I've heard good things about this one. I've heard that the books get better as they go, which is always good to hear. I have a good feeling about this one, and I think this summer would be a great time for me to finally start it. Next up is The Rose Bargain by Sasha Payton Smith, and this is the first book in the Rose Bargain series. This is also YA romantasy. This one is set in London in 1848. For 400 years, England has been ruled by an immortal Fae Queen who tricked her way onto the throne. To try to keep her subjects happy, she grants each of them a bargain for their deepest desire. We follow Ivy Benton, who is preparing to make her debut, but her family's social standing is in shambles. Her sister is a shadow of her former self, and Ivy has no prospects. But then the queen announces a competition for Prince Brahm's hand, and Ivy signs up for this competition right away. Ivy, surprisingly, is a frontrunner with the help of an unexpected ally, Prince Brahm's brother, Emmett, and Prince Emmett promises to help Ivy win, but for a price. This one has roses all over the cover, roses in the title. That makes me think of summer. This is another one I have a feeling I'm really gonna love. It has some elements that I really like this competition. I usually really like trials and competitions. I think the second book either came out recently or is going to be coming out soon, and so I've been seeing this one a lot again. It's kind of put it back on my radar, and I think summer will be the perfect time for it. Book number 7 is The Water Lies by Amy Meyerson. This is a mystery thriller following two mothers, one who is the mother of a woman who drowned, and the other whose toddler might know what happened. Tess Irons is heavily pregnant with her second baby when her toddler starts throwing a tantrum at the coffee shop and shouting Gigi at a woman who Tess has never seen before. The next morning, the woman from the coffee shop's body is found in the canal outside of Tess's Venice Beach home. And Tess doesn't believe that this is just a coincidence. And then we also have Barb Geller, who refuses to believe that her daughter's drowning was an accident. And so Barb heads to California seeking answers, where she meets Tess, and together they hunt for the truth. The cover with the palm trees and the beach, the Venice Beach setting, definitely felt summer to me. And I also wanted to change things up a little bit. I wanted to add a thriller on here, and this one felt like a good fit. I used to read a lot of thrillers. I really enjoy thrillers. But recently I've been having a hard time finding ones that I like, so I'm hoping to have better luck with this one, and maybe this will help me get back in a thriller mood again. Book number 8 is Metal Slinger by Rachel Snyder, and this is the first book in the Fire and Metal series. We follow Bryn, who has spent her life living among the Alaha, and Bryn is training to be a guard. She has been waiting for the chance to attend the annual market hosted by the Kenta. The Kenta are the people who exiled her adopted community to a life at sea. But while she's at the market, Bryn ends up breaking a century-long peace treaty after an intense encounter with an enemy soldier, which threatens to unwind their people's fragile coexistence and everything that Bryn thought that she knew about herself. Bryn's loyalty to the Alaha is tested after her true identity is revealed by this soldier who has taken an oath to take her back to where she belongs. I had this one on my spring TBR as well, and when I put it on, I kind of debated whether or not it fit spring or summer better. I'd never read it in the spring, so now I'm adding it to my summer TBR. It has flowers and water and butterflies on the cover. It probably does fit summer a bit better in my opinion. This is another one where the second book either just came out or is coming out soon. I've been seeing it talked about a lot again, and it's got me wanting to read it myself. I've seen very mixed things on this one. A lot of people seem to not really like it, but a lot of people also really love it. But I want to try it out for myself. It sounds interesting to me, so I'm going to give it a shot. And then the last two books are contemporary romance books. The first one is Till Summer Do Us Part by Megan Quinn. And in this one, we follow Scotty Price. And Scotty has recently started a new job, and hoping to impress her new boss, she mentions her husband in a company meeting. But one of her coworkers points out that she doesn't have a ring. So Scotty comes up with this story about how she's in this unhappy marriage. But unfortunately for her, her boss has the perfect solution, which is a one-on-one therapy session with the best marriage counselor in the Northeast, who also happens to be Scotty's boss's husband. But Scotty's only choices are to admit that she lied or to accept this invitation. So she accepts, and she calls her best friend for help, who sets her up with his brother. His brother is an improv-obsessed millionaire named Wilder. Wilder teaches her the main rule of improv, which is to always say yes. But this backfires during the session when Wilder signs them up for an 8-day marriage boot camp with all of Scotty's co-workers. I mean, and this one's obvious. Summer's right in the title. It takes place in the summer. They go to a summer marriage boot camp. This one sounds like it'll just be kind of a fun, funny read, which will be a nice change of pace. I've had this one on my TBR since last summer when I saw a lot of people talking about it. Obviously, I didn't read it, but I really wanted to read it in summer, so I saved it, and I need to get to it this year. The last book is The Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walther. We follow Meredith, who has gone to Martha's Vineyard every summer for as long as she can remember, but this will be her first visit since losing her sister. The entire extended family is going for her cousin's wedding. To add on to all of this, Meredith's long-term boyfriend dumps her 2 weeks before the trip, leaving her dateless for this wedding. Scotty's family has this tradition of playing the ultimate game of assassin every summer, and this year her target is one of the groomsmen. But she is determined that she is not going to get distracted or end up in another bad relationship. This one also takes place in the summer. It has it right in the title. I wanted another book that wasn't fantasy to kind of help break everything up. And this is another one that I added to my TBR last summer and never got to it, and I just need to get to it this summer before I lose interest in it. But that is all 10 books on my summer TBR. Let me know in the comments down below what are some books you're hoping to get to this summer. I will leave my Instagram and my Goodreads linked in the description if you're interested. I would really appreciate it if you check them out. But I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it, and I hope to see you all in the next one.